So this is the Python syllabus which we are going to cover. We will first start with the Python fundamentals. Then we move on to data handling, where we study about the data types, operators, expressions. Then third lesson is conditional and iterative statements. You study about the conditions, loops. Then strings. You will study about how you work with strings, what are the string methods, everything you will study here. Then you have next topic as list, then tuples, okay. Then we have dictionary. So all these are data structures of Python. List, tuple, dictionaries are data structures. Then we have functions, how you create your own function. That is what you will study here. Then file handling. File handling means working with text files, reading the data from a file, writing the data to a file, all will come under file handling. Then we have modules and packages. Okay, this is the next chapter here. After that, you will study about now these. From here, you have the advanced topics of Python, like object-oriented programming, then exception handling, lambda functions, regular expressions, multi-threading, decorators, then generators, closures, iterators, connecting Python with the database. So we have Python with MySQL database. And then at the last, we have tkinter GUI, which is used to create graphical applications with Python. So this is the entire syllabus of Python. Do you all have any doubts? Anyone wants to ask anything? No doubts. So should I start with Python then? If you all are there, please, you can at least put in the chat box any doubts or anything. So I will start with Python then.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, Python is a programming language, correct? What do you
Yes,
mean
yes,
by
yes.
yeah? So because Python is a programming language, you first need to understand what is the meaning of programming. Programming means set of instructions given to a computer to perform some task, right? Because computer is a machine. To interact with a machine, we need a programming language. Because we cannot directly interact with the computer with the English or Hindi or any other language, right? That is the reason we need a programming language. So Python is one such programming language which can be used to interact with the machine, with the computer. Now, when you study any programming language, there are two very important terms, compiler and interpreter. What is a compiler? We need to know first. So compiler is a tool which is inbuilt in the software which you will use for doing the programming. Okay. Compiler is there, and then interpreter. So it is a tool. Compiler is basically a tool which converts your programming language into machine language. Actually, computer is a machine. So in order to work with the machine, means a machine can only understand a machine language. So machine language is in the form of zeros and ones. So compiler basically, so when you write any program in any language, compiler will convert it into this format. zeros and ones. So this is called machine language. The second task of a compiler is to check for syntax errors. Like suppose you are writing a code and you missed a bracket or a comma somewhere. So compiler will give you an error. Error means something wrong in your code. Okay. So what is now interpreter? Interpreter executes the code line by line. So compiler translates the language into machine language, interpreter executes the code. So these are the two terms you should always know. Now let's talk about the Python introduction. Now Python is actually an interpreted scripting language. What is the meaning of that? When I say it is an interpreted language, it means that Python directly gets executed. If I compare Python with Java, then Java basically is not an interpreted language, because in Java, first your program gets compiled, then it gets executed. But in Python, directly the program is getting executed. So that is why it is called an interpreted language. Then Python was developed by Guido van Rossum. This is the person who has developed Python. Then Python is called a general purpose language, which means you can make different kinds of programs with it. Then Python is free and open source. That means we can download Python free of cost. And then open source means what? Open source means that you can change the existing Python code as well. Python has its own community where people can upload their code. They can change the existing code as well. That is the meaning of open source. So now we see the advantages of Python. So Python advantages are, it is easy to read, learn and write. It is a very simple language. Then it is a productive language, because here you are not focusing on the syntax. You are focusing on solving the problem. That is why it is a productive language. Then it is an interpreted language as well. As I told you what is interpreted means. So this is an advantage. It is a dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed means you do not need to define the type of value beforehand. In Java, in C, C++, we need to define the type of value before we are printing it. But in Python, we don't have to do that. That is why it is dynamically typed. Then it is free and open source. As I told you that it can be downloaded free of cost, and people can change the existing Python code as well. So that is the meaning of open source. So these are the advantages of Python. Now, why is Python so popular nowadays? As the first thing is that it is very easy to learn. It's very simple for beginners. It has a very simple syntax, and it has less code compared to other languages. Then it has a huge library support. So actually Python has thousands of built-in libraries and third-party libraries, which reduces the development time. Because libraries can have built-in functions which you can use to solve your program. Instead of writing long lines of code, it can provide you with functions which you can use to make your code shorter. Then it has high demand in jobs, because Python can be used in data science, AI, ML, web development, automation. That is the reason it has a lot of demand. So many companies prefer Python developers. Then it is cross-platform. Cross-platform means Python can run on any operating system like Windows, Mac OS, Linux. So that is the meaning of cross-platform. Then strong community support. So actually I told you, right, Python has a huge community. So developers can upload their code, means other people can use it. It has a large global community. Plenty of tutorials are there, and it is very easy to find the help online. Then Python is used by many big companies like Google, Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft. Then rapid development. With Python, the coding becomes faster, less debugging is involved. Debugging means checking for errors wherever the error occurs. And then Python is ideal for startups also. Now, where is Python used? What are all the areas where we can use Python? First is in web development. If you want to build websites, you can use Python. So some of the applications include like Instagram, Spotify, Pinterest. Then Python can be used for data science and data analysis, because with Python we can analyze large amount of data. So what are the examples where data science is applied? Like for stock market analysis, business reports, data visualization. In all these, we can use Python with data science. Then we can use Python for AI and machine learning. Like for example, what are the examples of AI and machine learning? Like if I want to build a face recognition system, like in mobile, you might have seen that when you unlock your phone, you can use your face to unlock the phone. So that is face recognition. We can do that with AI and ML. And AI and ML can use AI and ML is done with Python. Then we can build a chatbot with the AI ML. Chatbot means someone like who is there 24/7 to answer our doubts. So instead of a human being present, we can create chatbot with AI and ML, and they can answer customer queries 24/7. So these are examples of AI and ML which can be done with Python. Then we can use Python for automation and scripting. What is the meaning of this? It means to automate repetitive tasks. Like you do not have to handle, like instead of doing same task again and again manually, you can use Python for that. Like sending automated emails, task scheduling, right? So all these are examples of automation which can be done with Python. Then for software development also we use Python to develop desktop applications. Then for game development we can use Python because Python has a library for game building which is called Pygame. Then you can use Python for cyber security and ethical hacking as well. Okay, so these are all the applications of Python. Now let's see how do we install Python in our system. So to download Python, you have to visit, like you can go to Google and write download Python. See, this is the link which you are getting. You can click on this, and from here you will download Python. Now current version of Python is 3.14. So once you click on this, you will get Python downloaded in your system. Okay, now once you download Python, you will get a Python software as well by default, where you can do the coding. So that software is called IDLE, IDLE, this one. This is the default software which you will get after you download Python. Now it is not compulsory that you use this one only, but for Python, in case if you like want to do only do Python programming, no web development, no data science, AI, ML, then you can continue using this software. Or you can also use Visual Studio Code, which is VS Code. This one. But if you use VS Code, that does not mean you will not download Python. For VS Code also, you have to first download Python. Only then you can use this. But in VS Code, you also need to install Python extension. So from where will you get the extension? See here, you will I don't know whether they all know how to download VS Code or not. So maybe in the next class, once they all respond, I can understand and I can tell them how to download VS Code. So in VS Code, you have to install Python extension to work with Python. So how you can get the extension? See here, you can see extensions. Click here and you search Python here. See here, this is the extension. You have to install. For me, it is already installed. So if you want to use VS Code, you should install Python extension here. So VS Code is actually an IDE, integrated development environment. What is the difference between an IDE and, see, this is actually an editor. This one is an editor and this VS Code is an IDE. So what is the difference between them? Editor can only work with small types of coding. But if I want to develop a big application like a web application, then I cannot work with this editor. So for that, I need IDE. So the advantage of IDE is that we can install any libraries, packages from here itself, which is not possible in an editor. So I will work with VS Code mostly, okay, because this is the most commonly used software for Python. So okay, now let's start with working with Python. So here I'm going to show you how do you create a new Python file. So first of all, from here I will create a new window. Now I'll just increase the size. From here, click on new file. Now see here it is giving me the option a text file or a Python file. So click on Python file and then save as. Save as. You have to save this file. So you have to select some directory, like suppose I want to save it in documents. So I will give a file name. So I'm giving the file name as this. Your file name should not have spaces. Okay. And save as type Python. Click on save. You see Python file is saved. And it is also giving a name over here. So every Python file has an extension of .py. Py means it is a Python file. Like text file have extension .txt, PDF file has extension .pdf. So Python file has extension .py. So now in Python, if I want to display some output on the screen, how will I do that? I will use print function this way. Inside print, I can give some message like, suppose I want to display good evening. Now, good evening is a text, right? So to display a text, we use either double quotes and I have good evening here because good evening is a text. So we have to use double quotes. In programming language, if I'm printing a text, it has to be put inside double quotes. So save this file. Now, how will you run this file? You have to click on this run button, as you can see. And we can see here that good evening is printed. this one. So this is how we display the output in Python. Now you can also use single quotes actually in Python. Even this is also getting printed. So any text which you want to print has to be either in double quotes or inside single quotes. Now if you want to print a number, you can do that as well, like this. So it is printing 12. You can print a decimal number as well. So this is how we display the output in Python. Then, now the next topic here which we are going to see are comments in Python. What are comments? Comments are actually used to hide a line of code or multiple lines of code. Like suppose I want to hide some line from execution. I want to hide that line so that it does not come in the output. So I can use comments to hide it. So there are two types of comments, single line and multi-line. Single line comment means when I just want to hide one line at a time. Suppose if I want to hide only this line from running. So I can just put hashtag before it. Now this line will be hidden. When I run the file from here, see, it is printing only good evening one time. I gave one more good evening, but it is only printing one time because that line is hidden. So compiler cannot see that line. If I want to comment the next line also, I can just put a hashtag like this. Now I'm only getting 12 and 12.3. So this is how we hide one single line at a time. But if I want to hide multiple lines at once, then what will I do? Suppose I want to hide 100 lines or 50 lines or 10 lines together. I will not keep on using hashtag in every line. So what I can do for that? Like it is so time taking to keep on putting this hashtag in every other line. No, like suppose if I have so many lines. Suppose I want to hide lines from 4 till 8 or 4 till 10. I want to hide line number 4 till line number 10. Will I keep on putting hashtag in every line? No, it is time taking. No. So what is a shortcut for that to hide multiple lines together? We can use multi-line. So we can start with 3 triple quotes from here till here. So all these lines are now hidden. I will run this. See, I'm only getting 2 lines. If I uncomment this, I will get all the lines. See, when I'm uncommenting it, I'm getting all the lines. So this is the thing with comments. This is why we use comments.
Or God Jesus. Hey. Mute Grace.
So that is all about comments in Python. Now let's go to the next topic. The next topic are variables. What is a variable? Variables are name given to a value. Till now, when I was printing the value, actually, if you see 12.3, I was directly putting inside print. Good evening, I'm directly putting inside print, but this is not the way. We should always store our data. Please mute yourself. Mitanjali, can you please mute yourself? So I was saying that if I want to store the values in the computer memory, computer also has a memory, right? If I want to store the values in the computer memory, I have to use variables for that. Because what if I want to use this 12 later on in some another file, or I want to use good evening in some another file later on? I can't use them because they are not stored anywhere. To store the data, you have to use variables. Because these are all data only, no? 12 is a data, good evening is a data, 12.3 is the data. To store the data, we need to use variables. So variables are storage location, which has a name, a symbolic name. Like a equals to 10, like that. A is a variable in that case. Like here, if you see the example, my int equals to 9 is written, right? So my int is the variable, and we are storing 9 inside that variable. So similarly, in Python, to create a variable, what will you write? Like a equals to 10. Here a is the variable. Now if you want to print 10, you will not print 10 directly. You will say print a. 10 is stored inside a. So when I run the program now, it will print 10. You can see here. Similarly, I can store like say 12.3. So if I want to print this, so 12.3 is stored inside B, right? So if you want to print B, you can use a next line like this. Or if I want to print the variables in same line, I can put a comma and then I can put B. So it is printing both in the same line. So this is the way we create variables. Now variables can store any type of data. This 10 is a data, 12.3 is a data. I can store text also. Like suppose I want to store someone's name. Now your variable should also carry some meaning, right? You cannot just keep on giving A, B, C. Your variable should carry some meaning. If you're storing someone's age, let's say, so you can give a variable like age equals to 24. Age is the variable. So 24 is printed. If I want to store someone's name, I can take a variable like name equals to John. So here John is a value and it is stored inside this variable name. So I can print name. So John is printed. If you want to store someone's marks, you can take a variable like marks equals to 70. So see, marks are printed. So this is the way we work with variables. This is the way we create variables. Now, you should know that there are some rules of creating a variable. You just cannot give any name to a variable. There are some rules. So let's understand these rules. The first rule is that your variable should start with a letter or underscore. Either my variable can start with a letter or an underscore. Your variable cannot start with a number. Like, I can make this underscore A. This is also fine. See, it is printing 10, right? But I cannot start a variable with a number. If I write here 4A, let's say, it is going to give error. See, it is giving me an error here. A red color is coming because I cannot start a variable with a number. See, it is giving error. I'm getting an error, invalid syntax on this line. A variable cannot start with a number. That's why. The second rule is variable. See, variable can be a mix of letter, number, and underscore. So numbers can exist in the middle or at the end. Like I can write marks 1, 2, 3 like this. This is correct. Your numbers can exist at the last or in the middle, but not in the beginning. It will not give error now. It is printing 70. Then next rule is your variable should be case sensitive. What is case sensitive? It means uppercase and lowercase are not same letters. Suppose if I write capital, if here I wrote small a as 10. Now if I write underscore capital A as 20. Now these both are not same. They are different. Just because the letters are same does not mean they are same. They are actually similar. They both are different. So that is the meaning of case sensitive. Variables are case sensitive. The next rule is your variables should not have any reserve word. Reserve word means your variable cannot start with, means you cannot use a variable which is having a inbuilt name. Like I can't create a variable with the name print because print is a function. I cannot give it a variable name. So so you will see more reserve words in the future. In Python, you will see more reserve words. So these are the rules of creating a variable. The next topic here which we are going to see is the data types. Now what is a data type? Data means some value I told you. A value can be 12, 12.3, John, all these are values. So in programming language, every value has a name. And those names comes under data types. So variables can store data of different types and different types can do different things. So these are the different data types in Python. Like int, so I'll tell here. So data types which we have in Python are, first is int. Int means integer, right? 12 minus 4, this comes under int. Then float. Float means decimal values. 12.3, 8.9, these are float. You need to know the name. We don't call it decimal number, we call it float. Then we have Boolean. Boolean, we say bool actually in Python. Bool means only two types of values, true and false. And they are inbuilt values. True and false are reserved words. You cannot make them as variables. See, the color is also changing because they are reserved words. Then we have str. Str means string. What is a string? String means something which you put inside double quotes or single quotes. Like, see, John here was a string. So anything which I put in double quotes or single quotes, like John, or if I write ABC 1, 2, 3, these are called as strings. But they are denoted using str. So these are the different data types we have in Python. So so I think that is all for today. We will continue the remaining topics tomorrow. Since today is just the first class, so I am just keeping it till here. If anyone has any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I will leave the meeting. Can you just tell them as well to be interactive, because no one is saying anything? No, they are not speaking anything. Not.
So can I can leave the meeting, right? When will you tell me the timings of this class? Okay, fine.